Hello, my name is Jiso, and I am reading Master Dōgen's Shōbōgenzō. I've got a little bit behind over the last couple of days, so I'm trying to catch up. I've just finished Inmo, and that brings us to chapter 30, which is quite exciting. Gyoji, Pure Conduct and Observance of Precepts, Part 1. Gyoji, Part 1 and Part 2 go for pages and pages and pages. Where are we? 156, so almost 50 pages we're going to be on Gyoji for. That's quite a lot of, it's going to take us, 8 to 10 days. Gyo, means deeds, actions, or conduct, and Ji means observance of precepts. So Gyoji means pure conduct and observance of precepts. In short, we can say that Buddhism is a religion of action. Gautama Buddha recognized the importance of action in our life, and he established an ultimate philosophy dependent on action. In sum, the solution to all problems relies upon the philosophy of action, and therefore Master Dōgen esteemed action highly. In this chapter, he quoted many examples of pure conduct and observance of precepts by Buddhas and patriarchs. The contents of this chapter are thus very concrete and encourage us in practicing in our Buddhist life and observing the Buddhist precepts. Well, we need something a bit concrete after Inmo, because that was quite mysterious. Here we go. In the great truth of the Buddhist patriarchs, there is always pure conduct and observance of precepts, above which there is nothing. It continues in an unbroken cycle, so that there is not the slightest interval between establishment of the mind, training, bodhi, and nirvana, conduct and observance in a continuing cycle. For this reason, it is not doing that is forced from ourselves, and it is not doing that is forced from outside. It is conduct and observance that has never been tainted. The virtue of this conduct and observance maintains ourselves and maintains the outside world. The import is that in the moment of my conduct and observance, the whole earth and whole sky through the 10 directions are totally covered by the virtue of my conduct and observance. Others do not know it, and I do not know it, but it is so. Thus, through the conduct and observance of the Buddhas and the patriarchs, our own conduct and observance is realized, and our own great state of truth is penetrated. And through our conduct and observance, the conduct and observance of the Buddhas is realized, and the Buddha's great state of truth is penetrated. It is due to our own conduct and observance that the virtue of this cycle exists. Through this means, every Buddha and every patriarch abides as Buddha, transcends as Buddha, realizes the mind as Buddha, and is realized as Buddha without any interruption. Through this conduct and observance, the sun, moon, and stars exist. Through this conduct and observance, the earth and space exist. Through this conduct and observance, object and subject, body and mind exist. Through this conduct and observance, the 4 elements and 5 aggregates exist. Conduct and observance is not loved by worldly people, but it may be the real refuge of all human beings. Through the conduct and observance of the Buddhas of the past, present, and future, the Buddhas of the past, present, and future are realized. Sometimes the virtue of this conduct and observance is evident, so the will arises and we practice it. Sometimes this virtue is not apparent, so we neither see, nor hear, nor sense it. Although it is not apparent, we should learn in experience that it is not concealed, for it is not tainted by concealment and revelation or by continuance and disappearance. That in the actual hiddenness of the present moment, that, in the actual hiddenness of the present moment, we do not understand what dependently originated dharmas there are in the practice of the conduct and observance, which is realizing our self, is because that in the actual hiddenness of the present moment, we do not understand what dependently originated dharmas there are in the practice of the conduct and observance, which is realizing ourself, is because the grasping of conduct and observance is never a special state in a new phase. Dependent origination is conduct and observance. We should painstakingly consider and learn in practice that this is because conduct and observance does not originate dependently. The conduct and observance that realizes such conduct and observance is just our own conduct and observance in the present moment. The present moment of conduct and observance is not the original possession or the original abode of self. The present moment of conduct and observance does not depart from and come to or leave and enter self. The words, the present moment, do not describe something that exists prior to conduct and observance. The realization of conduct and observance itself is called the present moment. Therefore, one day of conduct and observance is the seed of all the Buddhas and is the conduct and observance of all the Buddhas. To fail to practice this conduct and observance by which the Buddhas are realized and by which their conduct and observance is practiced is to hate the Buddhas, is to fail to serve offerings to the Buddhas, is to hate conduct and observance, is to fail to live together with and die together with the Buddhas, and is to fail to learn with them and experience the same state as them. The opening flowers and falling leaves of the present are just the realization of conduct and observance. There is no polishing of mirrors or breaking of mirrors that is not conduct and observance. Therefore, if we aim to set aside conduct and observance, disregarding conduct and observance in the hope of concealing the wrong mind which wants to avoid practicing conduct and observance, even this is conduct and observance. On those grounds, however, intentionally to aim for conduct and observance, even though it may look like the will to conduct and observance, is to become the wretched son who threw away treasure in the homeland of his true father and wandered astray through foreign lands. During his time of wandering astray, the winds and waters did not cause him to lose body and life. Nonetheless, he should not have thrown away the treasure of his true father, for that is to lose or to misunderstand the Dharma treasure of the true father. Thus, pure conduct and observance of precepts is Dharma that is not to be neglected even for an instant. That was alluding to the parable of Shingi, Belief and Understanding, chapter of the Lotus Sutra. I'm sure you knew that. Just a little bit more. The benevolent father, the great teacher, Shakyamuni Buddha, practiced pure conduct and observance of precepts deep in the mountains from the 19th year of the Buddha's lifetime to the 30th year of the Buddha's lifetime, when there was conduct and observance that realized the truth simultaneously with the earth and all sentient beings. In the 80th year of the Buddha's lifetime, still he maintained the practice in the mountains and forests and maintained the practice in monasteries, never returning to the royal palace, never assuming control over his wealth of his land, over the wealth of his land. He retained as his clothing a cotton Samgati robe. Throughout his life in the world he did not replace it, as, while in the world, he did not replace his one bowl. He did not stay alone for a single hour of a single day. He did not refuse offerings idly served to him by human beings and gods. He patiently endured the insults of non-Buddhists. In sum, his whole life of teaching was conduct and observance. The forms practiced by the Buddha, washing the robe and begging for food, are all nothing other than conduct and observance. Okay, running out of voice because I've had to string together 3 tonight because I've got a bit behind. So apologies for that. It's a short one. We'll have more on conduct and observance tomorrow. Thanks for listening. Take care.